real quick, I gotta address something real quick. I have no idea how you get sexy hair. Okay, Dustin Cole. I don't
I
have
can show you
any
the sexy
clue.
hair.
Chris,
Hey, who put the stream on their computer and forgot to turn it off?
Chris is the guy you want to talk to
Not me.
about that.
This is a sexy hair, right? Right here.
Yeah, it wasn't me. Who's got the echo?
It was me. It's not me anymore.
Good job. Good job. What's up, guys? What's up, guys, in the chat? Zach, Cody, Hambone, Dustin Cole, the Chipmunk. I know our little buddy Randy Ravioli isn't out there watching tonight because something about his cousins are coming over to hang out, and they're way too young to be watching our show because we swear a lot, say bad words, and
that's a very good point.
Do bad things. So what's up, Randy Ravioli? You sour cream noodle eating bastard. Hope you're having a good night. Mike B. I wonder who's the first one in the chat. I see we had Carrier. Oh no. Never mind. That was HVAC with Greg with his little.
The first person was Hamilton. Hamilton was the
first.
And then Greg, and then Mike B.
We got Jesus Fish in the house tonight.
Yep.
You remember when we used to just call him Jesus Tilapia? And then somehow that
turned into Jesus Fish. So
great point, William.
That
I love having this power.
I'm glad they do smell like farts and not something else.
Yeah.
So
it's better than smelling like lube.
Yep.
What do you think, Joe? What do you think Joe's doing right now?
So that's the whole thing.
Like fingers.
The elephant in the room is that Joe's not here. So where is he?
Yeah, we have no idea. He hasn't messaged us.
No.
I mean, I think he's scheduled for a date with a phone call date with his old lady, right? But I don't know if that happened.
Who knows? You know, it's funny because like Joe always has something coming. Oh yeah, I forgot about the show. It's like, how can you forget about the show? I was just talking to my wife last night because Bill is over here top secret. He won't let us know, but he's going through 100 episodes of our show trying to find the highlights. And my wife last night, I was explaining the highlight video to her, and she's like, well, what episode are you at? And it's like, we're 20 away. 20 away from 200.
I have 93 more episodes to go through.
It got me. I started watching. Oh, you know what I watched? Last night I started looking, and then I watched your blooper video, like the outtakes from the symposium.
Yeah,
and I was watching that, just like all of our raw footage, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that. And
that was nice to go back and see it. I remember one specific episode, and I don't think I pull any clips out of this one so I can talk about it. One specific episode. I don't know why, but Adam was drinking milk the entire time. And I'm like, I fast forwarded through the music and intro, and then I stopped like, what is he drinking fucking milk? What is he doing drinking milk?
I probably had heartburn at the time.
What is that? It just struck me as so
weird. I drink these. I have like,
that heartburn or I didn't realize this. I used to have really bad acid reflux.
Yeah.
So when I'd eat spaghetti, I'd drink a big glass of milk, and anytime it started to act up, it makes it worse. Yep. That's what I learned when I went to the doctor.
Feel better.
Yeah.
It makes it feel better.
But it's more acid in your stomach and just makes it worse.
What's up, Ryan?
Rich is in the chat. What's up, Rich?
Yeah. Rich, I hadn't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody out there, Huseman HVAC has got a little show that he's putting on so far. It's going to be every Saturday at, I believe it's 9.
Yeah, Misfits of HVAC, right?
Yep. Say it at the same time. It sounds cool.
Is awesome. I watched the first episode with Jennifer and Ryan, and look forward to has there been 2? Or has there only been one?
Like on
that was the first one,
right?
Yeah, okay. So there's only been one so far, so I haven't missed the second one. Yeah, I know I watched the first one, so that is cool.
Yeah, Ryan's a cool guy. He does cool stuff.
He does.
So I did a lot this week.
I know, Adam. Okay, so some people may know that Adam was at the training conference, the HVAC Excellence thing. But what you don't know is that Adam didn't talk to Bill or myself or Joe for like an entire week.
Yeah.
It's like the longest we've had. I feel like, when you're dating somebody and you see each other every single day.
I mean, I honestly struggled with it emotionally, and I was getting to towards the end of the week, I would do my audio journals in our little secret chat, and I'm like, you guys, I miss us.
Yep.
It was different. But honestly, here's the thing. This is what the schedule looked like, all right? So by 5:30 in the morning, you had to be downstairs for breakfast, and they had this big like
5:30
smorgasbord of breakfast to put on, right? And then the classes start at 6. Basically, lunch hits, and then you go all the way till 5:36. I think the one day was actually later than 6.
There we go.
And then you end up hanging out, talking to people, blah blah. I had some good dinners with awesome people. The one night was Christopher Hughes from TEC and Don Gillis. Everyone knows him. He's a legend.
Yep.
Which actually he's going to be on the show next Friday.
Boom.
Don, and he's with Kim Wars now, right?
Yep.
Mark it on your calendar, guys. Don Gillis next week.
That's gonna be cool.
Let's see what else. I had dinner with Joe Madoshia. What?
From Measure Quick.
Measure Quick. Yeah, we ate at a Greek restaurant. It was nice.
That's cool.
There was a contractor there yelling at Joe, and they got into like a verbal altercation. I was just standing back laughing, and it was pretty funny.
Why was he? Oh, at the training conference?
Yeah.
Why? He doesn't understand how to use.
I get all these ideas and tips, and I email you every day, and you don't listen to me. And Joe's like, I listen, and they kept going back and forth, and it was like this big. It was funny.
Like, I listen, but your ideas are garbage, and you're stupid. Like, what do you want me to do about that?
So then what else did we do? I went out the one night with Chris Mahali from Gentech, Ed Janowa, Chris Hughes. That was fun. We went to Fremont Street. Man. And then the last night I hung out with Ty Brannaman and Craig Migliaccio and his employee and partner in crime, Brandon.
Yep. I got to sing happy birthday to Brandon at AHR because it was his birthday one day when we were in there, and Craig grabs me. He's like, hey, would you mind coming and singing happy birthday to? And I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So let me tell you guys something. I have been to a lot of training in my life, a lot of classes, so many over the years. And recently, probably more so in the last 2 years than the previous 18, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But I sat through Ty's class, and his class was called Having Fun with Fundamentals or something like that.
Or putting the fun back in fundamentals.
Yeah, exactly. That was the best class I've ever been in my entire life.
Did he bring his little hand, his little pointer hand?
No,
my little hand.
No, but he should.
No, but his props and the stuff that he has, and prop isn't even the right word. They're examples of how to teach certain things, and like the way that he takes a toaster apart from the dollar store or something. Like he goes and buys a cheap toaster so that way he can explain and calculate, and he has such a great way of explaining things. So
he really does. Like it was amazing. He's stacking boxes. He's like, this is 1 CFM, this is 2 CFM, this is 3, and then he's showing like he's got 2 Tupperware things, one on each side of the room filled with red liquid, and he's showing how refrigeration circuit works, squeezing a sponge into one and then squeezing in the other, going back and forth and back and forth.
I don't want to change the subject, but what if we had Ty come on one day and we had like sort of an extended show, and we're like, Ty, we're going to give you our show for like half hour, and you just teach the fundamentals. I know you can't do it all in like a half hour, but just like just so everybody can experience TY Banana Man.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. And honestly, I sat down,
host the class by Ty Brannaman.
I sat down with Ty after, and I said, Ty, dude, I'm sorry, but like I was smiling during his class like a freaking jerk off. That's how much I was enjoying it, because I was like,
I've always said you look like a jerk off when you smile.
But no, like you know when you're just like you're just enjoying what you're like. It was educational, it was freaking entertaining, it was the whole 9 yards.
I felt a little bit like that in Jim Davis's class with like some of his little antics,
Yeah.
Except Jim wasn't running around from one side of the room to the other.
No, he would literally die or break his legs right off.
Possibly. Oh, you know what other class is amazing? Speaking of which, I have an autographed book for you here, Bill.
Oh yeah, Mr. Eugene Silberstein.
Yep, that class was amazing, and he is hilarious. And
I honestly didn't think he was gonna give that book. I knew we talked about it, but I would just like, why don't you just sign a book and give it to me? That'd be cool. Like throwing it out there. I didn't think he was actually gonna do it.
Yeah, no, that was he's
badass.
an awesome dude. His class was, he's funny. He's super funny. He's giving people hard times in his class. One guy get up to go to the bathroom, and he just stops the whole class. He's like, I gotta pee. Like, and
he's all, so do I, but you don't see me walking away from the wait. It'd be funny if he accompanied the guy to the bathroom, like, yeah, let everybody just hang out for a minute. He goes and takes a leak and then comes back. That'd be pretty
fun. Let's see how your urine stream affects the humidity of the room.
So, yeah, we don't know where Joe is. He just never showed up. So he might be dead in a ditch. He might have a needle sticking out of his arm. We just don't know.
Yeah, so. Stuck in a Tim Hortons line somewhere waiting on some Timbits.
Oh, I watched a YouTube video today. There was a problem and there was controversy with Tim Hortons because apparently,
of course,
there was a Tim Hortons and 2 people pulled into the drive-thru, and for some reason the property that Tim Hortons is on is in a dispute with the plow company. So the plow company came and dumped 2 bucket loads of snow in the entrance and the exit of the drive-thru when there was 2 people in it. And so then they had to wait to shovel the snow out because the plow driver bounced, and it was all in a Tim Hortons drive-thru. Pretty funny.
Man. Getting back to Adam, he's been just traveling the world lately, it seems like. I swear to God, every week, every other week maybe. Different. Yeah, he's going somewhere new, rubbing elbows with like not just like a few of the best,
with the elite.
The elite. So I know there's going to be someday where Adam's like, sorry guys, I've outgrown you guys.
Oh,
you guys are beneath
110%. 110%. That's going to come like within the next 6 months. Or Adam's going to be like, guys, I can't do the show anymore.
Yeah. Or he'll be offered like a job and they're like, one stipulation, like we're going to hire you to run ASHRAE or ACA or Measure Quick, full blown right to the top. But you can't be hanging around with those overtime guys anymore. They're a bad influence on the
industry. Honestly, I was kind of I was wondering, if I should even let people know, some of these.
Know that you're on the show.
Yeah, let them know I'm on the show. But I put it at the top of my freaking resume, HVAC, because people are gonna find it eventually. Just Google my name.
That's true. Yeah, like that porn you made, they'll find it eventually.
So you just got to put it out there, huh? But anyways, you know what I'm doing? Not next week, but the week after.
Probably going to another class about building science or teaching one, or
I'm going to the ACA conference in New Orleans.
Son of a bitch.
And I'm making this is kind of on Christopher Hughes.
Chris, you son of a bitch.
Conservatory. No, I was gonna make a little educational video, a fun video on my brother's house, and it turned into this blowing up thing. Before you know it, like it was gonna be me, Chris, and Dustin Cole making this video, and now it's me, Chris, Dustin Cole, Ed Janowak, Wes Davis, Jim Bergman. We got all these people at one house, and we're making a cool freaking standard 310 video.
Oh, I've heard the backstory of this. I can't wait for this whole thing to unfold.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. Your poor brother is going to move. Your brother's just going to be like, fuck it. He's going to file a lawsuit against whoever it is, and then he's just going to be like, I'm out.
Yeah, well, he was asking me. He's like, so
kerosene and a match. Like, boom, I'm done.
He's like, can I use this to go after my builder? And I'm like, yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to do that because this is going to be too much like publicity. So,
See what Christopher Hughes says.
Oh, so sorry,
keeping it a secret.
Come on, we're freaking. There's no secrets here.
Good job.
Actually, I thought it was a secret. So when you started talking about it, I was
like, it's like a truck stock bathroom. We don't keep nothing from each other.
This is we. I mean, it's kind of a secret. Nobody watched it.
It was. I mean, it was.
It was until I promoted this on my channel, and we have a bunch of extra.
This is like a real life thing. Anything that goes on in our life, we talk about it. So,
Chris, you need to start having NDAs signed because, like, I'm bound by a lot of things, and I can't talk about a lot of things because I signed to NDAs. So,
hey, I still haven't given away that one invention that Christopher made, which that suction cup thing. You know what I'm talking about? That little upside down suction cup hooked up to your vacuum.
Oh, that suction cup. I thought you were talking about the other upside down suction cup.
The HVAC sex toy that Christopher Hughes made. And if you didn't hear me, the sex toy that Christopher Hughes from TEC made that you hook up to your vacuum, literally, like, I think he rated it as 2 golf balls through a garden hose. That's how he rated it. It's amazing.
That's supposed to be a secret too, I think, isn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
It feels like the real thing, he said. But you know what? On a more serious note, like watching Adam go through all this stuff, because like as I'm going through all these old episodes, like I'm watching like Adam way back in his younger years when he just
when he was
My
fun.
younger years,
Yeah,
When he was
younger
fun
years.
and he was
Like,
happy.
he's the guy sitting over there drinking milk during their show, like, "Oh, you know, and now he's like investing in himself, like going to all these classes. Like, no, he's not working for a company that's pushing him to do this. Like, this is all himself pushing himself to do this. Like, so anybody out there watching, you have no excuse. If you want to do better, then fucking do better. If this fucking schmuck over here who used to drink milk on the show can do it, then you guys can do it too. That should go to
Oh
like,
my gosh,
anybody
that's
listening.
it. I'm gonna start making videos and I'm gonna be like, look at my friend Adam. Adam is, I can't say what he is, but he's very special.
Mhm.
And he is successful, and you can be successful too someday. And then we could use you as like a use case.
Yeah, but like
100%.
before and after.
Yep.
I'll show you I'll show a
It-
clip of you like with a milk mustache.
It'll
and
be like,
after
it'll
where
start
you're,
with like,
teaching
did
a
your
class.
teachers tell you would never amount to anything? Do your parents disown you? Do they hate you?
Hey, look at this guy. He used to
Fret
be
no
nothing.
more.
Now look at
This
him.
guy made it. So can you.
He's not really nothing no more. But
Well,
you know,
as of
what
now, I'm still nothing, guys. All right,
Oh,
but I'm
okay.
working my way out of it, and it's taken a lot of effort and costs a lot of money.
but I mean,
So
you've
is
had
this
like
gonna end up
37
being like
interviews to get out of being nothing, so you're doing good.
this whole Adam working his way up is like, what's the girl that pretended to be famous and pretended to be rich, but she wasn't, and she was in New York and she like conned people out of a bunch of money.
the girl that
yeah.
says,
Hmm.
I know with the Russian accent.
Yeah, Russian accent chick,
What
whatever
was her
that is.
famous thing that she said that was so?
I don't
cool?
know, but that's exactly what Adam's doing too. Someday it's all gonna topple, and they're just gonna realize this guy doesn't
The
know.
House of Cards. I just
Yes.
show up at important
He'd be like,
events.
this guy sat through 900 hours of manual S classes just to pull the wool over our eyes.
I show up early to ASHRAE meetings and sit at the table with these guys and be like, "Hey guys, I'm
Mhm.
here." They're like, "Who is this guy?"
He's like,
what-
look at my thumb. Ooh.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy with his fucking shirt on backwards.
with the shirts on back.
Fucking guy.
Oh,
But I tell you what, though, like for me, it's really put in perspective, almost in a depressing way. I'm like, man, I wish I could find my niche in the industry. And I always go back to this. I always rag on this all the time, but that's the one thing is I work on so many different things, like hot side, cold side, all that dumb shit. And I was like, man, I wish I could just find that one thing and just hone in on it. Like,
what the Joe's in the chat? What the
We're also taking applications for the new 4th member. Everybody.
yeah,
Yeah.
It would help if you're from Canada, just so we could still like keep that.
I think we need
Minority
another.
role.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool to have the Canadian dynamic. So we need a new Canadian, guys.
If you
Or
guys
if you-
know any Canadians,
Or if you're
Oh my
good at
gosh,
doing a
you guys,
Canadian accent.
Adam, I just thought of it, dude. This is what would send Joe over the edge. You need to take him off as a moderator on the Facebook group, so Joe can no longer be a moderator, and then just let everybody post in the Facebook group. Joe would go insane. Dude.
Oh, he says
um,
he's having camera issues again.
Yeah.
Man, that doesn't sound like Joe.
you know who we should get as the new moderator?
Who's
A
that?
fucking broom propped up in the corner.
What's his name? HVAC know-it-all.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Gary can be
yeah.
a new moderator.
How would Joe feel about that?
I don't know. Let's ask Joe. Joe,
Look at that dirty bastard.
dude, I think his room shrank, bro.
Oh, dude.
How
He's
is
got
the
a
windows
fisheye
at his
camera.
head? Didn't it used to be
Yeah,
below
that's a
the
good
windows?
point. Yeah.
Are you sitting on a
going
bunch
on,
of phone
Joe?
books, dude?
This is a no call, no show in my book.
Yeah.
I showed up. It was a 22.
This is McDonald's, man. You'd be written up.
Yeah.
You know what? You see my presence in chat. Hughes
No, but
got it quick.
I'm intrigued by this room you're in, dude. The perspective is just throwing me off here.
That's
Like
the whole
you look
idea.
like the people in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when they walk through the tiny door and then it's the big room, or they walk through
Yeah.
the big door and it's the tiny room. Like you
But,
look like you're in
hey,
a tiny room, dude.
Now we could see a ceiling vent that we never saw that. Supply
I know.
register
I feel
before.
like this
That
is
is a new
how
perspective.
this is how Slater from Saved by the Bell takes a poop, and that's how Joe likes to sit back on the toilet with his camera right there.
Oh,
Are you in a tiny
man.
house, bro. Like I'm really confused.
Joe, you're not in the basement, Joe.
I am.
No,
I
you're
know.
not.
You're on the first
Are your
floor,
basements 4 feet
windows-
tall?
Yeah, the windows don't make sense.
or you have a tri-level house,
Dude,
maybe.
dude, listen, there could be an illusion. It's all
Dude,
about the,
touch the
hidden-
ceiling. Reach
No.
your hand up. Can you touch the ceiling?
Oh.
Are
There's
you
no
touching
way.
it?
How
No.
could you? Because if that's a corner wall of your basement, how
There's
is
no-
that? That's supporting your whole freaking house right there with that little thin thing in between.
Oh,
the
hold on. My
windows?
Siri popped up because I said.
You know what this is? This is because he's using an Apple camera and they're so magical. They make magical things happen.
Right.
Look at his glasses. He has only got like one wonky eye this time. Where's his other wonky eye? Yeah, he's like at a different angle or something.
Oh, I was sitting back. I was trying to get this thing going, but honestly, I was just listening to you guys and I enjoyed it. It was cool. So I was being the spectator.
Not even like
so you're okay with us
message,
replacing you? You're just gonna
no, that was funny though.
Keep it up, and you can enjoy listening to us every week.
Yeah,
exactly.
Did you see my message in the chat? A few guys caught it quick, and they were laughing. The ones who caught it. But anyways, you guys were talking about who thinks they're rich, but I think Chris, you've seen it. They're not rich.
Who's rich?
I didn't
never
hear
mind. Nothing. Forget it. Forget it.
I missed it. I'm confused.
So yeah, Gary McCready is going to be on next week with us, right?
Yeah, right.
That one deserved to be shown. Everybody,
I bet you I could get Gary to come on the show.
But
Do it.
He told me he would, but he kind of put
Bring him on.
But
Yeah, I'm sure I can.
Oh yeah, I'll hit the thumbs up.
I bet he's got a rider though. Wherever he goes, all of his commercials have to go too.
Hey, whatever floats your boat, good for him.
So we have to play like his 19-minute commercial segment before that.
nice.
Anyways, yeah.
So
Joe's here, so now he's going to direct the show. It's okay.
Hey, Joe, we'd like to know. Can you explain to everyone in our chat and our audience, like,
why you don't
what
care
was
about
so
them?
important that you didn't show up?
Yeah.
I was here. I was trying to get this thing situated. It sucks.
Yeah, tell the people why their time is invaluable and that
I
you
know,
just
right?
don't give a crap. Like,
Sorry, guys. I felt bad. Then
We set up a time to meet prior to when we start. When you show up 3 minutes before you start, this is what
I did
happens.
procrastinate.
And mind you, I show up typically an hour before the show.
Right.
And then normally everybody else is supposed to filter in about a half an hour before the show.
Yeah.
So really, you're like an hour late, dude.
Truth.
Yeah, we didn't have our vocal warm-ups, our pre-show chats to get all the little things out of the way.
I might be a little pitchy.
Our feelings that we discuss.
Oh,
What's up with that shirt, Joe? Did you find that shirt in a gym locker room today?
no, dude, come on.
What's up with that? You pumping some iron or something?
No, it's just my natural arms from working on the pass.
That's interesting. Cassette, like ceiling cassette for a mini split. Is that what he's talking about?
I think so. Yeah, I think most of them do now. Like
they have a knockout. Come on, no.
Yeah,
they have a knockout for fresh air, but I don't know about for
and supply. Mitsu has one. I forget what it's called, but Mitsu and Daikin I think have them. I've seen it before. Yeah, I was looking into it. I forget who. I think it was Daikin. I got some shit. Look up. Go to what's that Mitsubishi website? They should have it there.
No idea, dude.
What's the Mitsubishi website?
Got me.
Couldn't tell you.
Hold on. My link drive or something like that. My link, yeah.
Okay.
And they'll show they show all their shit there. You guys never heard of that?
No.
Oh my
No.
god.
I always thought they only had knockouts for fresh air.
No, they have them for
worked on
both
a
fresh
cassette.
air and supply.
No, maybe once. I think once in a bank I saw one and kind of messed around with it.
Yeah.
But
It's cool. So if you have like a small area, like a washroom or like a powder room.
Doc Comfort says the 4-way cassettes can allow you to duct off of it.
can you add a cassette to a pre-existing like system and then almost like supplemental heat or cooling?
You mean like trying to blow it into a duct that's already existing?
Like, let's say you have a really, really long run. System wasn't designed properly, and you have this whole side of the building that just isn't getting enough cooling. Could you slap a cassette like in that ductwork that goes to it and supplement it a little bit?
No.
Speaking of mini splits, but I guess it's not really a mini split. I got my heat pump going today, guys.
Oh, yeah.
You got through the
How bad did you screw it up?
True heat in the bedroom. This is the first time in a long time.
Hold that note there, Adam. Look at this amazing comment because I heard what you guys were saying.
Well, that's the point. We wouldn't moderate it, and that's what would drive Joe nuts.
You drive you guys nuts too. It will go down. Over. It will be done.
No, I will give Joe credit. I will give Joe credit. Joe handles the Facebook group,
but also Facebook gives us a lot of warnings about some of Joe's antics.
Yeah, actually, Joe is the only person that has gotten a strike as a moderator.
Yeah,
like he actually put our channel.
I haven't.
Dude, Facebook's run by fucking softies.
They They send us messages, be like, one of your moderators approved this.
Yeah.
And they're like, one of your moderators is a racist. I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, I know who that is.
I'm not racist.
Oh, I know who it is.
You know what I've been doing? I've actually been declining people joining their group.
Oh, so who's the racist one?
You know,
let me tell you
one, yeah. If their name looks like a bunch of ramen noodles, you're not coming in. And 2, like if you got 939 other groups, nope, not coming in.
I mean, it makes sense. Here's the thing:
okay,
we should make it so like
Zimbabwe.
We should make it so you don't add people unless they agree to
answer
the
the
terms of the group. Yeah, they answer the questions. That's it. If you don't answer it, you don't come in. Period.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Back to you, Adam. Sorry cutting you off. So you got your system running?
Yeah. You know what it was? Why I was going into an error when I was trying to commission it?
Yeah, you were telling. Yeah, go. I would love to hear. What was it?
There was a issue with the outdoor EEV.
So it was. You were saying that though, I think, right?
It wasn't, the plug on the board wasn't seated right, but it's not easy to find because there's like a board on top of a board.
Oh,
like dig in there, baby. To get
I know when you came to us for some consulting, I think one of us said check the connections and the resistance, just to check the resistance on them. But
I didn't check.
Well, if you did that, maybe
I was going to try to find the plug to check the resistance. Dude, if you saw, I didn't take a picture of it, but it's legit a board on top of a board. So how do you, and all the plugs go into the back.
Yeah.
So is it just a quality control issue?
Yeah. Oh, and so I thought it was initially before I left, the EEV was like spun and it sits into like a dimple and it kind of locks into place and it was off. And I spun it back. And I'm like, oh, this is going to do it. Didn't do it. So not only was it spun, it was unplugged.
Hey guys, you guys remember Adam's vacuum micron gauges spun? His EEV spun.
My vacuum gauge spun?
The micron gauge. Remember you were complaining about your apprentices killing the
oh, that was a long time ago.
Oh,
hey.
That was like right when the Blue Vac Professional Plus came out.
Now, none of you guys have read Craig Migliaccio's book, right?
No, not yet.
Pros. Motherfucker.
Why?
Why?
No, sorry, my shit froze. No, I just like, would his book cover stuff like this?
He talks about EEVs and that, yeah.
Yeah. So like if you read his book, would you kind of at least be able to stumble your way through this whole shenanigans?
I don't know if he talks in his book about how to test EEVs, but I did see Daikin had a class and I don't know, I wouldn't call it a class, the second one, but they had something and they showed like their tools and then they showed how to test EEVs. So I took a picture of it to see what the resistance readings on Daikin EEVs were.
Did you see too that two things? Roman, is it Roman Baugh? Is his name?
I don't know.
What's his last name?
Bach. I think
Bach.
I don't know.
Anyways, Roman, who he's starting to post a lot of training videos too on his social media platforms, and I thought that was pretty cool because he's given a lot of like in-depth inverter training and circuit board testing, and so it's pretty cool.
Who's that? Who's Roman Bach?
Roman works for Daikin.
Oh,
I don't know his last name though, but
gotcha.
Dude.
Did you see Jenry Garcia posted something, and I didn't know this. So apparently on the train, and I'm assuming probably on the high-end American standards too, on the TAM air handlers, they actually have the ability to, if I understood it correctly, or not on the air handler, but on the unit itself, you could input your actual load calculation, and it tries to base its delivered capacity off of your load calculation.
That's pretty cool.
If I understood that correctly, that kind of blew my mind. So within its parameters, obviously, if my quick reading, maybe someone in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but my quick reading said, as long as you have it sized right and everything's good, if you input that number, then it's going to try to regulate around that.
You imagine having like a evaporator condensing unit that's almost like a universal. You slap it in a box and the dimensions and the R value of the insulation, like basically a load calculation for a walk-in cooler, and it adjusts its capacity.
It's totally coming. When I was at AHR, one of the mini split manufacturers, Gree, had a booth, and at their booth they had a modulating refrigeration unit that looked like a mini split, and they had a standard walk-in evaporator, and they were saying that they're building units now that are inverter driven walk-in equipment. So, and
that's
Copeland's
nuts.
done it for years too, but Copeland's is a little more complicated. But you can put like a variable frequency drive on a Copeland compressor and change its capacity based off of different parameters.
This is why I want to stop doing all the hot side dumb shit that I'm doing right now and just like find a company that's doing some of the new age refrigeration stuff, like some of this cool stuff you're talking about, Chris. I would love to be on the what's the word I'm looking for?
The receiving edge,
the receiving end of it.
We got commercial Pat in here, guys. You guys are saying this hot stuff, shit stuff.
Pat Finley.
Yeah,
he knows the depressing side of this. Me and him had a short, brief conversation through Facebook about this.
We had a talk about cheese melters and such.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's great because I have such a variety. I rarely ever get bored. I do get bored, but the thing that bothers me is like, these guys like Mr. Brett Pretzel, like he can just quote stuff like, oh, and then the weight of CO2 at this given pressure is blah, 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 blah. And his eyes will roll back in his head and I'll tell you a bunch of shit. And like, I can't really do that because I don't work with one single thing. Like he's, you know what I mean?
He's not human. He's not human. And you know what?
He's over here mocking me right now.
I called Brett after I freaking bombed when I gave that little talk in front of Bergman and Ed Janowak and a few other people. I was like, I wasn't prepared for it, which I learned my lesson. I'm never going to do that again. And it sucked. It was no good. But anyways, I called Brett because I know he he trains and he talks in front of people all the time. So I'm like, hey, I told him what happened. I'm like, did that ever happen to you where you weren't prepared and you weren't 100% on the topic you were going to talk about? And he's like, no.
Way to be supportive.
I know.
I've always known everything since I can remember. I've just always known it. I've never had to learn it. It just appears in my head.
Advice after getting fired. What do we think? I don't understand the question. Am I reading that as if someone asked you and you didn't know how to answer the question when they?
That's what I'm
Did you fire them?
Who got fired?
I guess.
I mean, was it like? Is there a cool story to why they got fired? Like, did they take their pants off and jump off the roof?
Reason they got fired?
Like,
that's it.
Were you doing something with the person that got fired and they only got fired and you didn't?
That's a good question.
But seriously, guys, if someone came up to you, like a fellow person in the trade, and said any trade, and said,
the first thing I would say is if someone came up to me and wanted to know, like, why did they think they got fired, right?
Yeah.
Is I'm going to say, look at yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Look back at yourself and truly think about it. What could you have done to have caused what happened here?
Bang.
Now, when someone gets fired, let's be honest, a good majority of the time it's on both sides, but one person finally lost their shit and pushed it to the edge. But I always say to reflect on yourself first. Look at yourself, analyze that, figure out if there's a way you could stop pooping in roof drains.
I mean,
no, that's what cinder blocks are for, so you can go back and clean it up later.
No, that's perfect advice, Chris. Honestly, you have to look at yourself for sure. And I say, don't burn your bridges. Most of the time, maybe asking for advice. Maybe they might give it to you if their advice is sound.
Some feedback, like a post, of course, depending on the situation you were fired in. But
I really, really like exit interviews. And
that's what I was thinking of.
We have had good feedback on our exit interviews.
Oh, wait, is that like people that you fired or people that quit?
Some of them were, we said that it's time for you to leave. Some of them, they left on their own terms, but we always ask,
how do you fill this out on your way out the door?
Yeah. Let's talk about why you suck so bad.
Well, because like for instance, a couple years back, I had a gentleman that was an apprentice with me and it didn't work out. He rode with me for about 3 months and it just kept getting worse and worse. And what I'm saying is the things that he was knowledgeable in, you realize further and further, like he's actually not. So, and it wasn't like anything that was a surprise. Every time there was something that he was knowledgeable in, I would just say, hey, like, you said you were experienced in this, but yet, you can't figure this out. So I was like, I need to know, what other weaknesses do you have? And it just kind of kept going and kept going. And then what had happened was I had these talks with him enough, but I kept saying, dude, like, what's going on here? Like, that was a pretty simple thing to fix, but you said you were experienced, And then he just kind of looked at me and we were driving back to the shop. It was the end of the day. And he goes, man, he goes, I just, I don't think I'm qualified for this position. And I said, okay. Like, I mean, I get it. I said, I want to work with you, but I said, I'm a little frustrated that, you said you knew how to do all this stuff and you didn't. And he goes, yeah, he goes, it's probably best if I just leave. And it was a very good exit. And he filled out an exit interview, and there was a lot of great information. So I like exit interviews, but the point I'm trying to make is even though, he left, but I was going to let him go also. Like, so it was kind of a mutual thing. It was on good terms. And people that I've had to let go too, like they knew it was coming. So it wasn't like it was a drop down fight or anything. It was just, so I like the exit interview.
Had an exit interview. My previous last company, I guess you'd call it. Oh. Yeah. I was okay with it. It wasn't terrible. I mean, yeah, here's what I thought. Here's what you could improve on. But I'll tell you right now, if I could drop what I'm doing right now, get paid exactly what I get paid now, and go do something specific like a chiller tech or whatever, that would be super cool. I was talking to, what's his name? John. And he works for a company that I used to work for as well. And he's like, man, we got an opening for a chiller tech. They'll train you, come aboard. I'm like, dude, like that would be super cool.
Yeah.
To just start specializing like chillers or something. I'd be the next Holden Hamburger. Awesome.
I'd say too about the whole exit interview thing. Another thing to understand, and again, I'm not perfect. I've got huge flaws, but I also make it known to all my employees, and I encourage them. If you have feedback about me, I'm willing to hear it. I said, as long as it's brought at the right time. It can't be brought in the heat of passion when someone's pissed off at me, then they start bringing up all the gripes. That's not the right time. But in the morning when we meet at the shop,
your apprentice come on the show.
What's that?
We were going to have your apprentice come on the show.
Yeah, you guys had that idea.
Definitely. Yes, that is still a good idea.
If any of Chris's employees watch this show, send us an email to hvacOvertime@gmail.com.
What they're going to do is they're going to have you guys on the show, and they're not going to let me come in. And no, it's fine. I don't know that any of my employees would actually want to come on, but I wouldn't mind. So
yeah. Hey, what's up, Clive? It's okay. You stay up real late.
You guys are right though. Mistakes are made as long as you have a good attitude and you learn from them, and you get a better job.
Yep. I got a question. So when it comes to supply houses, like what I want to hear what your guys' gripes about supply houses are. Like, what do you hate about supply houses, Joe?
Well, it brings back to the question was just asked about getting fired. If all fails, there's always supply houses.
But so you can fall back on a supply house. If, yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah.
But I don't know, just lack of education. They just want to work the 8 to 4 job, whatever it is, 9 to 5, 8 to 4, 6 to whatever it is, and just that's it.
So you're upset with employees at the supply house that don't take ownership of their job and don't think before they just say this will work.
Not all, but most, yes.
I'd kind of agree that there's a good majority of supply house people that are just punching a clock and they really don't want to be there.
I don't like when somebody working at a supply house gives out advice on something they are not qualified to give advice on, and the people asking the advice
aren't qualified to do the work, but they're
not. Yeah, like neither one of them are qualified to talk or whatever, and like you're giving this guy that is looking for knowledge bad information.
Yeah,
don't do that. It's not cool.
What about you, Bill? What don't you like about supply houses?
Well, the thing that I don't really like about them is they don't have a lot of tools, but I know that's not what we're talking about.
No, that's
part of it. Honestly, whenever I want a tool, I always have to go online to buy it because they don't have any of these tools. None of the guys at the supply houses are like, they know about the latest, greatest tool of the industry. Like they don't know anything about the new age stuff mostly at all. There might be one guy within 5 supply houses that knows like this is the latest piece of equipment or whatever. But like beyond that, I don't know. I would say about half the supply houses around here never call me back. They're usually dicks.
Good one.
My thing that I don't like about supply houses, there's gripes. There's good things too, but what I don't like about supply houses is very similar to what Bill said. I don't like the fact that they don't have what I want. They have what they want to sell me. And that's a frustration of supply houses to me. Like,
and they don't listen to you and be like, hey, I want to buy this, but you're not selling this. And like, well, nobody else wants to buy it. And like, I'm pretty sure other people want to buy it too. They're just not asking you for it.
So in my area, a good majority of the time, supply houses are their inventory is basically based off of their manufacturer's reps and what they sell.
Right.
So, you know, if you get a manufacturer's rep that reps a lot of lines of products, right? You might have, and if you guys don't know, this is a person that their job is to interact with the supply house and try to convince the supply house, hey, bring on this new product. So they go around and do sales calls all day long and sell.
But they're like buying products in groups.
Yes.
Like for manufacturers. It's not just like one-off products. It's like, this is what we rep, so this is what you buy. Right?
Yeah. So, okay, so Mike B, that's a great thing. So getting Refrigeration Technologies products in supply houses is damn near murdering someone, because New Calgon has massive control of the products that are being sold in the supply houses that theirs are in, and they don't want any of their competitors' products in those places.
So I just had this conversation with John Pastorello from Refrigeration Technologies.
Nice picture you guys took. Was that his son or? Sorry.
Yeah, it's his son.
Cool.
So yeah, we were just talking about that, and I was telling him I'm still going into supply houses, telling him I want to buy Refrigeration Technologies, hoping they're gonna. And he's like, we have a name for that. We call that Operation Deep Throat.
Okay.
That's when companies go to supply house and say, this is what we want. You need to start carrying this. And more and more people do that. And it's a possibility they're going to start carrying it.
And this is kind of what we talked about a little bit before, but these manufacturer rep relationships that these supply houses have, I feel like they're hurting the supply house industry, and they're pushing everybody online. Because what did we all do when I couldn't find the Field Piece S-Man gauges when they first came out 15 years ago or whatever it was, because I saw Jim Bergman using them, right, on the internet. I couldn't find them at my supply houses. So I went to True Tech Tools, and that's where I started using True Tech Tools, because they had what I wanted. And then they became convenient, and they started carrying more and more stuff, and they became the place that I go for any tools now. Right. Same thing. We're being pushed online because with the low overhead that online supply houses have, they have the ability to stock more products. So part of the thing when it comes to tools, one of the things that I have an issue with is the manufacturers of the tools. Oftentimes the manufacturers of the tools have purchase minimums. So let's say you want to bring an S-Man into a supply house that doesn't have an S-Man. That supply house has to buy, let's just say 6 of them. Like they have a minimum purchase. So then they don't want to bring that crap in. So it's a little bit of the reps, and it's a little bit of the manufacturers having these purchase minimums.
Also, I would imagine too, like let's say they do buy 6 S-Mans, and they're maybe in an area where all the technicians are like old school fucking manifold
and
using
they're not
guys.
Gonna be able to clean them out.
Yeah, they're just gonna sit on the shelf and gather dust, you know.
I've heard of some tool manufacturers actually having buyback programs that'll go back and buy stuff that's like antiquated behind supply house shelves. I don't know which ones actually do that, but I know that the supply houses are kind of up against a wall too, but it just sucks because we can't get the products that we want. Right. So then we're forced to go online and start buying from an online retailer, which
honestly, here's the thing. Let's be honest. It's nice when you're in a supply house and you want to buy something right then and there. And,
and you
probably
can feel
most
it and
guys
like, touch
would
it.
Probably most people would be willing to pay a couple extra bucks to the supply house for the convenience of having it in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that being said, honestly, if I don't even look anywhere else anymore besides True Tech Tools, because they have what I need and they ship it out and they have free shipping, right? Like you place an order over. That's when I get most of my refrigeration technologies and everything. I buy like a box of it at a time, just because it's convenient, and their customer support is second to none. You know what I mean? Nobody will beat them out. If you have an issue, no questions asked, they'll take care of it.
Yeah. So you see what Dustin Cole, he says, according to his supplier, no one liked the bags of chemicals. I'm assuming he's talking about the venom packs.
I knew you were eyeballing that one.
May take more educating by the salesman. And I understand the bags of chemicals were different for me too. And at first I was like, these things are going to break on my floor. They do pretty well actually, because I keep them in a little shelf. But here's the thing, guys. This is what I don't understand. When you buy Refrigeration Technologies, a Viper venom pack, okay, let's just say they don't cost this much, but let's just say you're paying $60 a bag. Okay. So $60 a bag for a venom pack. For depending on which one it is, you get 8 gallons of coil cleaner out of that. Just because you bought a bag that's concentrate doesn't mean that you can't sell it as 8 bottles of coil cleaner. because you are making 8 batches of coil cleaner. So why wouldn't you buy that and make more money? You guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you stretch that bag out for 6 gallons, make more money off of it, because it's something that you did the research on? You have to know how to mix it right. So that's when you have to buy the coil gun so you get it mixed right, but you get 8 gallons of coil cleaner out of it.
Right.
Yes, they do.
That's a good point.
Right there.
What Ty just said.
What do you say?
Tools is people of the trade, for the trade, and fund trade education.
100%. 100%. And we have a episode coming sometime in the future. You recorded an episode with Bill Spohn, did you not, Adam?
Yep.
Podcast, and I'm going to be doing a podcast episode with Bill Spohn here in about a month, 3 weeks, something like that too. So that'll be cool when those pop out.
I should find a link for his podcast.
I know I'm trying to think of the last tool I bought. I think it was a new meter, or maybe it was my my Smurf boner hoses. I can't remember now. But yeah, I just went to True Tech Tools because even though I want to be able to walk into any place, kind of like when I'm shopping for shoes, like I can't go to any place and buy shoes. I would like to, where I can go and try things out. I would like to go to a place where I can hold all these meters and look at them, like kind of play with the clamps and everything, but I can't. So I've honestly just given up on that romantic idea. There's a few places that have like meters. They'll have a small selection of meters, but it's just, it's not even worth, it's not worth putting the effort to go there specifically to buy something because they're just going to let you down.
So, ACS says came to an old walk-in fridge, did not know the insulation material looked like cork. Is that okay? So I'm assuming you're talking about the line set. And if the line set had cork tape on it, cork tape barely has any insulating value. So, I mean, you'd be better off putting real insulation on there. You drop your compressor superheat, you'd increase the life. So in cork tape, basically, I will only use cork tape for about 1, maybe 2 specific situations, and that is it. Other than that, burn the crap and throw it in the trash. So
I know
there's nothing worse than trying to take off a sensing bulb in a walk-in freezer that's kind of working, so the cork tape is still rock hard. And you're trying to cut it with a razor blade, and then you slip and cut your damn arm because I hate cork tape. It's just.
But they used to use that shit on everything in the day. Like didn't they line
That's a good point.
Evaporator.
Nothing ever good came out of Ohio.
They used to use that a little bit for everything. I noticed on an older equipment, I've seen a few stupid spots. But anyways,
whenever I'm working with somebody and I'm like, hey, we need some foam tape, and they come out and they bring back cork tape, man.
Yeah.
I just Will Smith smack them right in the face. I'm like, you get that shit right out of here. All right.
I like cork tape.
Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth too.
That's Alan.
I like the gray stuff.
Dave's a good friend. Him and I talk every once in a while, but that makes me laugh because I've told my guys to just
I will fire you
out of your damn vans.
That's hilarious.
Go ahead.
And I remember one time I came up to a drain line that in a walk-in freezer that had ruptured. And some dodo head must have taken 7 boxes of cork tape, and he wrapped like a 30-foot drain line with cork tape. The whole thing.
Oh my god!
And it had like a rupture. And I told the customer, "You need a whole new fucking drain." Like I'm not
right.
Cut it off with the saw, throw it all away, and all new copper and proper insulation. Like
looks like garbage.
Yeah.
So I got to meet and shake Herman Lloyd's hand. Although I only saw him twice at the conference. Mind you, there's 1,000 people there, but like I was hoping to get a chance to have a conversation with him and talk to him for a few minutes.
He's like the Apollo Creed of HVAC.
Apollo Creed.
Yeah, you know what he said? The first thing he said to me, he's like, "Man, you're bigger in real life than I thought."
You know what I would say?
You might think I'm
I'd be like, "Man, you do look like you have mannequin legs."
Friendly neighborhood maintenance guy said he just did his first piston to TXV conversion with MO99.
I've never done that.
Can he buy a TXV with MO99 inside the bulb? No, but the TXV gases do not necessarily match the gas of which they're operating. So it's not always R22 and an R22 power head. They're just for MO99, you're going to use an R22 power head.
But if you have a small enough manifold gauge, you can just pull a vacuum on the sensing bulb of that TXV and put MO99 in there if you want.
Yeah, no.
Truth.
Good question.
Don't do it. But yeah, you just use a standard R22 power head, which is going to be
dare you to do it.
Did you
do it?
Did you take a picture, Friendly? Did you take a picture? I want to see.
What is the nomenclature on a R22 air conditioning power head?
I know. I'm surprised you don't know that offhand.
VC is Victor Charlie is medium temp.
Okay. Cool.
Victor Zebra is low temp. What is?
Are we trying to remember the model number of a R22 TXV? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, I remember seeing.
How long is that cord to his headphones? Holy crap!
I know. Remember when Chris first started? He used to build his own.
No kidding, right? Like he could get in his car and drive down the road with those things still attached.
Yeah, walk to the bathroom with that thing on.
No kidding, right?
It's NG. Nancy George is the nomenclature, so it's just going to have a Nancy George power head in it.
Oh.
And that'll be air conditioning R22 or MO99.
Cool, friend.
Joe, you need to slow your finger down.
Yeah. I know. Listen.
Well, you put a comment up, but then you make it disappear.
Listen. It did slip a couple times. I was trying to get, and I'm not.
I know, but you're like, even if you put it on the screen.
Here's what Joe does.
Bam! I love that.
Let's go back to this one. What's this guy say? Oh my goodness.
No. I put it on the screen. It stays. But if I don't keep it long, it's because it was a mistake.
It's just like
just play it off.
Me and Joe, honestly, we're just getting used to this.
I did play it off. I thought I did.
Like
this is what I want you to do. You know how to the whole 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi,
yes.
3.
How many?
Right.
How many?
What do you guys think? What's a good Mississippi?
At least
4 Mississippis, dude.
I mean,
there you go.
Mississippi, 2.
So, and I want you to but we need to be able to like verify that you're actually. So it needs to be 1 Mississippi, 2. So just while we're all talking, you're down
fingers up.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
You're gonna have people.
I think it should be 5 Mississippi.
Questions gonna come up.
Okay, 5.
Five is
it needs
good.
to be 5 Mississippis, and he needs to make eye contact with each one of
Canada,
us
so there's
before
no
he makes it go away, just to make sure we're not giving him the don't do it, Joe.
Like
don't do it.
1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, 3 millimeter.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have Mississippi.
Yeah, there's no Mississippi.
Well, that's true.
And I put that.
Joe, do you know why? Do you know why we use Mississippi?
The Mississippi River?
No, I mean the whole concept is because it's a gauge of time.
Oh,
it takes you 1 second to say.
So Joe, here's for extra credit points. Joe, can you spell Mississippi?
Yes.
Oh, man.
MISSIPPI.
Wow.
Oh, see that you memorized that because that's the only way I could spell it too is by saying that phrase.
I think you look Halloween.
So during on the last day of AHR, I was invited to be part of a panel discussion with a bunch of other social media influencers.
Thanks, Chevy.
And it was actually really cool. They just released the footage because they filmed it, and so I got to watch it, and because I don't remember half the crap I do, so I like watched the footage, and there was a really interesting conversation. So it was like 10 of us social media creators, and people from the audience were asking us questions, and we were kind of talking between each other too. Someone in the audience asked a question about how manufacturers can be better with social media and different things, and several of the people, I'm not going to take credit for these things that were brought up. I had a discussion about a little bit. Several of the people brought up the fact that manufacturers don't understand social media.
Right.
And I think it might have been Ben Poole, who from HVAC Tactical, I think he was the one that said this, was unfortunately, a lot of the manufacturers assign their social media people that handle their social media interactions, and it's the marketing people doing that.
Right.
And Ben, and I'm pretty sure it was Ben, forgive me if it wasn't, but the person that said this was saying, like, if the manufacturers actually had a technical person from their staff, like an engineer or something like that, actually interacting on social media, that would make things a lot better to where they could actually interact within groups and go in there and give valuable information to people and answer questions. Yeah. And I thought that was a really cool point that they made about that.
It's funny because I just had this conversation. I'm not going to name names, but in Vegas, I just had this conversation with somebody. I'm like, he was asking like why they don't get views on their content. I'm like, and he was showing me the content, and I said, this looks like a PowerPoint class on YouTube. Like nobody wants to watch a PowerPoint class on YouTube. Like you need to make it real. Like get down and dirty. You know what I mean? Put your hands in it. Like make it like, you know, it's the real videos that get views.
Something that sorry, go ahead, Bill.
As I say real quick, it borders on that same concept of a lot of these these tech books that are written like in engineering speak. They're written for engineers. Like some of these videos you guys are talking about and training programs they have, they're written for corporate guys or engineer guys or guys within the company.
Yeah. Joe, I'm not hearing. You're supposed to count out loud.
I was just gonna say, you guys had me counting in my head. I'm like, am I doing this as long? Like, it's killing me here. So, oh my god. Oh, sorry.
Well, see, I turned it off. So, something that I brought up in the conversation and it was a great thing. If you guys are interested, go to AHR Expo, and if you go to if you just navigate through their website, it's kind of a couple different steps you have to go through, but you'll find like a social media. I think it was like social media interview at AHR 2023, and watch it. It's a really good watch. But one thing that I brought up was manufacturers are out of touch. That's what I did tell the audience. I was like, unfortunately, because there was a lot of manufacturers, and I said, I'm not singling out one of you. I'm singling out all of you. I said, you guys are out of touch with the industry. You don't know what's going on. And I said, why is it that some dum-dum like me just puts himself on the internet, gets people asking me, hey, how do I work on this Chirac reach-in? Have you ever ran into this problem? Have you ever ran into this problem? Like, they're asking me instead of going to the manufacturer. But I know the answer. It's because they have to wait 2 hours on hold, or the manufacturer doesn't even return their phone calls, or they don't even know what they're talking about.
So why do you think there is such a disconnect?
Sorry, Bill. Or they're just reading off a computer screen.
Yeah,
drives me nuts.
I think there's a disconnect because they are held back by corporate. They are held back by legal, because nobody wants anybody to go onto the internet and give information out without having someone approve what they're going to say. Some of the best information I get in ice machine training classes is when the training teacher at lunchtime, people go up and ask him questions, and he gives his opinion on it. He's like off the record, this is what you need to do. Just anytime you run into this problem, just do this.
Like, off the record, Hoshisaki is better.
Yeah, you get that kind of information. So manufacturers, they need to do a better job, and they are out of touch. They really are, and they need to jump back in. They need to be better. I mean,
I think they've just become too like corporate. Like,
well, on the residential side, they're screwing themselves because they're favoring giant contractors and conspiracy theory time. But you have all these consolidations. You have all these companies going and buying up all the major residential big companies, right? So now they're all owned by like 3 or 4 different companies, and they have buying power. And while we can't get equipment, they're selling it every single day. They're getting it every single day. So these manufacturers are favoring those people. They're not being concerned about the industry's future. They're just concerned about today and today's profit.
And making money. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with making money. We all have to make money. But I can't tell you a manufacturer within our space, the 4 of us. I cannot tell you a manufacturer that does everything right. Yeah. And that's going to be impossible. But I can tell you a lot of manufacturers that do a hell of a lot wrong.
Well, you know what? Like, what manufacturer do you even know of that you actively interact with on, let's just say, Facebook? Like, I know, Chris, you interact with some, but like, you guys out in the chat, like, are you guys ever in any sort of Facebook groups? I know we're all in HVAC Facebook groups. Are you guys ever in one and you're like, hey, so-and-so from Sporland's just popping in here and spreading the word? Or, I mean, Blue On, I think they're around doing stuff like this, but, you know.
Yeah, although I did see in the group, Bill, I don't know if you've seen it, and Chris, I think CC'd them, and they came in. Sporland did a little. Someone was asking for something. I forget what it was. Conversion.
So what about this? And again, these aren't my ideas, because
Dustin, let's do it.
One of the other content creators said this. Like, manufacturers should have ambassadors out there. They should have people that are on the payroll. It doesn't have to be like a full wage, but on the payroll, and they're just looking for group conversations, so that way they can tag the main people, and so they can become part of this stuff and see these conversations. Now, this is funny. R134 a-hole, that name, said, hey, Chris, did you ever hear back from that company after an 8-hour wait for a callback for some controls from a few weeks ago? As a matter of fact, I did. Tuesday afternoon, I got a phone call this last Tuesday. So it's been like 2 weeks.
I think
this last Tuesday, I got a phone call.
Has fake people in the audience just softballing questions out there.
No, but he legit. It was Bayweb thermostats, and he goes, "Yeah, this is so and so from Bay Controls. I'm calling you back." And I literally said, "From 2 weeks ago, you're calling me back," and it was radio silent. He wasn't saying anything, and I go, "Yeah, nice. I'm good. I figured it out. I'll talk to you later." What are you trying to show us, Adam? You're showing us your son's face now.
No, this is
Who is this?
Dude,
it's my nephew.
Oh,
what's he
wanted
doing?
to be on the show?
Oh, that's cool. Well, you know what? I can imagine Chris. I know Vi got him, and the guys that are active too. Bill, everything, HVAC, Hughesman, Ty, Big Clive, whoever. They're asking questions. People are all reaching out to them. I could imagine questions you guys all get. You know?
Yeah. And I like to help people, but it's a shame that they're having to reach out to me instead of the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Because the manufacturer could do them better. They could be
and I wonder if
exactly,
like if sometimes I'll get stuck on something. I'll post some questions up in some various Facebook groups, and I get a lot of help from you guys, from anybody who's in these groups. And I often wonder, like, if I tag a manufacturer, if I would get any sort of response from them on my specific question. Probably not. Yeah, you're right. Probably not.
But it really depends on the group too, and it depends on who sees the post. Because there's a lot of groups that people are super unhelpful, and they're just like derogatory and mean. You know what I mean? You idiot. Blah blah blah.
If you have to ask that, you should just kill yourself. I'm like, oh my god.
I've had to learn, just like, don't even get involved in those conversations anymore. Half the time, and this is something that Facebook has always been such a cool thing for me. Like I appreciated when groups came out and it became popular, but now honestly, groups are getting out of hand. Like, it's too much of the wrong information. Someone literally goes on and they give information and they'd be like, I have this problem. My walk-in's icing up. Here's my refrigerant pressures. This is what's going on. They give all the information. And then every other response is a different, like, oh, it's this. Oh, it's this. Oh,
I know.
Oh, it's this. And it's like, none of those are right.
Miny, mo.
My answer to that would be, okay, if your pressures are this, and I would give them hints and help them get to the conclusion.
Right.
I wouldn't just come out and say your TXV is your problem.
Because you don't know. You're not there.
You don't know.
Yeah.
But so many people jump in there, and it's just like, I don't even want to get involved anymore. It's kind of sad.
I posted a picture on the overtime group, which, by the way, if for whatever crazy reason you guys watching aren't a part of the HVAC overtime group, go join up. Go check out our website. Maybe even buy some of our shit if you want.
Yeah,
it'll
definitely
make you feel better.
Stuff. We need like an extra 30 cents in our bank account.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't sold a shirt, and I don't even know how to ship them out anymore. But so I posted a picture of this little, I don't even know what it was, a 10-ton rooftop unit that's like on a curb.
Hang on. You didn't count Mississippi on that shit.
Was that enough?
You did not count Mississippi.
No,
some of them are not, like, some of them
then don't put them up. If it's not worth 5 Mississippis, don't highlight the comment.
That's true.
Okay.
All right. Go back to Bill. You were setting a rooftop. You had a picture.
So I was just walking around a roof because I hadn't been on this building before, and there was a Kroger next to it. So I went over to this rack, and I was just like looking at this rack system, and like, oh, I'm trying to figure out what the lines do and this and that, and because I was curious. And on my way back, I walked past this little package unit that's like sitting on a curb, and then the front half of it is unistrut and like cush clamps or rubber blocks. I'm like, oh, I ain't ever seen that before. Took a picture, put it up in the group, and like it feels like it went viral. Like, so many people are just like, oh, that's dumb, or like, yeah, I never seen that, or like, I've seen that. And like, people are like almost, I don't want to say attacking me. They're not attacking me, but they're like, there was actual arguments in there that got started because people are like, what do you mean you haven't seen that before? Or just like weird stuff. I'm like, huh.
There's a lot. Yeah, and there was a lot on your site as well. Like, you didn't see it before. I didn't see that before.
I never seen it before. I'm like,
I've seen it.
Should I have seen that? Did I miss that day of school where they're like, everybody look at this and memorize this? I'm like, fuck. I mean, relax, dude.
To be honest, if you really look at it, I wouldn't want my system like that, because if you see it's off a pad.
I mean, I didn't do it. I was just like, I've never seen that before.
I wouldn't want to support it.
I
would support it a little bit better if I did do it.
Back to the manufacturers thing. Another thing that I just thought of right now too is, I don't think that as these manufacturers have grown, that they have proportionally increased their technical support staff. To an extent they have, but when you think about it, when a manufacturer was only selling 10 boxes a year, they had one person that could answer questions. When they went to 20 boxes, they didn't make it 2 people. When they went to 30, they didn't make it 3, So
go, Joe, go.
I don't think that they're allocating enough money in their budgets to have a proper tech staff. And let's even talk about this too. Blue On, right? Blue On, if you guys haven't figured this out yet, like, they've been helping people with tech support. They've been helping people with tech support. They've been doing this. Well, they're pulling back on that, which I knew it was coming. They're no longer giving free tech support.
You said
they're
that
pulling back.
Yeah.
And
hey, thanks, Susie.
They have to, though, because they can't keep giving it for free. You know, they've got to make money. So they're only going to be giving tech support to people that buy products using their app and that buy from the supply house, because that's their new way of making money is by affiliate links. And if you're not generating revenue for them, they're not going to be giving you tech support. So
can't blame them.
No, I can't. I mean, you get it, you know.
Yeah. I did ask them to have one of those dudes come on the show, and they were like, "Oh yeah."
Where are they? Where are they? Come on, Blue On.
Bill tried too. What the hell? Yeah, we're pumped. We're stoked.
I tried getting the guy from Vito on the show. He never responded. I love Vito products. I would love to talk to that guy. And Blue On. Blue On, if you're listening, quit being dicks. Come on the show.
No, but I mean, so, you know, these manufacturers are the only people that can truly give the real information about their products. You know, Blue On can do their best and they do really good at doing it, but you know,
sometimes they're not right either. Like the Daikin class I sat through.
I mean, there's always, and that's the other thing too. They need to have better informed people.
So I was in this Daikin Sky Air class at the HVAC Excellence Conference, right? And he was talking. This room was big, dude. There's a lot.
I saw the pictures after. I didn't realize there was that many people in there. Holy crap!
But so like the last day, Daikin like closed all the other classes, and they were the one and only class for the whole event.
Huh? What is going on there, Minky Mutu? No, that one.
My Mississippi's lost count. I'm keep on going.
Just go ahead and leave it on there, man. That's
my counter is just my counter is just sorry. I just don't know how to count anymore.
Minky Mutu, please tell me you're a guy. Please
send Joe nudes.
Yes. What is his email address?
I don't know.
Never mind.
It's like Grand Theft Auto Family.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking. I thought it was like something like smooth brown milk dud at gmail.com.
Oh my god, you were talking about
technician bag with an iPad slot. I mean, Vito has like a ton of them.
Yeah.
So
I think the one I trade for the TPXL has one.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah.
Here's my iPad. My iPad was under a freaking book.
How did I get that? Where is it? I didn't find it anymore. Oh, there it is.
So yeah, anyways, during this class, they were telling all these people like blah 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 this, blah 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 that. And they're like, our air handlers come shipped with the EEVs in the open position for you to braze. And I raised my hand. I'm like, yeah, no, they don't. I'm like, you have to power up the unit and open.
Oh, yeah, tell us about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's leave this on the screen.
I am. Clive knows because he's probably one of his guys.
How do we make it bigger?
It is one of his guys. So. How do you make it bigger? He says. Oh my god.
That's what she said, or that's what Minky Mutu said.
I'm putting this out here right now. Minky, if you send me an email, hvacrvideos@gmail.com, I will send you a link for the show right now, bro.
Oh my, I'm getting out.
Send me an email, dude. I will bring you on the show right now, Minky.
He's gonna come into the show ass first.
Yes, I will put you on the show right now, Minky. hvacrvideos@gmail.com.
Who is? Yeah, I don't know.
Not just a dude, a bear. How anonymous.
we're at 20 Mississippi's right now. Joe.
Yes.
Who was the guy? Wasn't that on Instagram or whatever I contacted Blue on?
Yeah.
And see, we need to get some of these people on. Oh, you know who else we're talking about? Let's have Ty back on the show, but also Craig Migliaccio, the AC service tech.
Yep.
Hey, is Ty still in the chat? Hey, Ty, if you're in the chat, blink twice.
He's totally right now.
Hi, I don't know if you heard this earlier, my little idea that I had. I don't even know if we were live when I said this. I don't remember. I was drunk. But Ty, we want to have you on the show, but we want to have it in sort of a different format. We want to give you the show for like, I don't know, however, 45 minutes, whatever, half hour, to like have a little tiny class so people can experience your way of teaching and how much fun it can be.
Yeah,
Holla at your boy.
What do you think, Ty? Blink 3 times if you accept.
Do it, Ty. Ty, I know you can hear me.
You know,
Michael, put the cheeseburger down and answer me.
Michael House said something really important. I don't know how he doesn't get like drained teaching all these people, because it could be like draining. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you're gonna see his style of teaching too. He's not just standing in front of the class talking. He's like pacing. He's like running from one side to the other. He's all over the place. You know.
Imagine teaching some people that like are starting kind of fresh. Oh,
and we still need to get Nathan on to finish the damn goat story from a year ago. So
yeah,
When do you want to have Nathan on? All right, so who we got? We have Don Gillis next week. We need to set up Craig Migliaccio.
I'm sorry. I want to have Craig on, but we need Nathan. We need Nathan, dude.
All right, so what do you think? The following week we have Nathan on? Somebody get in contact with him.
Yes. Nathan,
someone
send out the bat signal. Everybody in the chat right now, go message Nathan Orr and tell him to be on the show.
Oh, yeah. This was another thing that they said at the Daikin class. They said, don't use wire nuts on communicating wire because the data spins around the wire nuts too much.
No, they did not.
And gets lost.
No, they did
Well, you may not have good communication. The data is not spinning around in the wire nuts.
The information is just spinning around the wire nuts. Like,
I think he was being sarcastic. He was joking with that.
Imagine calling tech support and be like, you got wire nuts on that? Well, that's where your data is. It's in your wire nut. Flip it over and look.
Flip it over and look.
I mean, at least say it makes a noisy communication. Like, come on.
It spins. He said spins in the wire nut.
It spins in the wire nut.
So theoretically, if you put your mouth under the wire nut, could you eat the data? Like, what are these guys doing?
You could. It's like a seashell. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, we know that wire nuts are preferred, right? But I'm not sure if the data just keeps spit, like it gets lost, like a
wire nut.
I bet you the wire nuts are made by China, guys. They're made by China so they can steal our data because they
spin away
the data from the wire nuts.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
How come I can't turn this off now?
There you go.
So did Ty ever answer? Is he cool with this or what?
I'm sure we'll figure it out.
I don't know. Ty,
did you blink?
Did you blink?
He's still blinking.
He's still blinking. He's like, guys, hello.
I don't know how when you're in these training classes, Adam, when I'm in them and I hear incorrect information, like I lose interest in the.
Oh, dude, let me tell you something.
I lose interest and I just tune them out and I get agitated.
There was one class that it got uncomfortable. Like I got to the point where like I wanted to walk out of the room because I felt bad for the guy. Like
I was just gonna say, like, you imagine being that guy. Like maybe it's not his fault. Maybe he was just taught a script.
Well, and the funny thing is, I thought it was hilarious because the class started off with him explaining what the Dunning-Kruger effect was. That's how the class started.
And the guy was trying to explain Dunning-Kruger to you?
Huh?
He was trying to explain it to you?
The whole class.
Yeah.
Maybe one day
and he was explaining it. Yeah. And then, so then he started going into heat pump sizing. And like all the information he was giving was wrong. Balance point was wrong. Basically, like he's like, you basically can't oversize their systems. They ramp down. And I'm like, well, what's the capacity? What's the latent capacity? Do you guys publish the latent and sensible capacity on low speed? He's like, no, but the water's really cold that comes out. And it was myself, Alex Meany, Ed Janowak, and a bunch of other super knowledgeable people in the class. And like Ed kept his mouth shut for a long time. And then he made one comment. Alex started making a comment, and I felt uncomfortable. I'm like, I gotta go. I can't.
You got the douche chills, dude. Oh, that's funny.
But did the guy come across like he had maybe just been taught this script and he's just like repeating it, or like I don't know, like what was the gist? What was
the class was on sizing. It was sizing heat pumps in cold climates, and like he's giving bad information out, you know, like he basically
was it like a PowerPoint presentation where he's reading the things off the PowerPoint.
Kind of.
So he's just like a talking head.
But people are asking him questions.
Yeah, he wasn't trained for that.
I swear I said this already, but I'm going to say it again. I have a confession to make that. And I'm not trying to say that I know more than the trainers. I just get agitated when I hear something that's wrong. They certainly have more knowledge than me, but when I hear something that's incorrect, it just messes me up.
Here's a question for you guys and everyone else in the chat. Is it okay to correct an instructor during class if you are 100% that they're wrong?
Well, and I was actually going to go there. So I actually get joy, and this is where this is messed up. I get joy out of asking questions to the instructor that I know he's not supposed to answer. And what I mean by that, like I'll be in an ice machine training class, and the ice machine classes, the marketing team has always said like our ice machine's the best because you can clean it in 10 minutes. Well, that's not true because it takes 4.5 hours to clean. So when I'm in those classes, I love asking those questions in front of everybody to get them to admit, and you just keep, but that doesn't make sense. So you can clean it in 20 minutes. And then finally they're like, no, it takes 4 hours.
Here's the thing. A couple of people are saying, wait till the end to correct them, which I kind of agree for their self-esteem and everything else. But the thing is, is it okay that you're allowing them to teach an entire group of people the wrong information?
No. And to answer your question, it is okay. Now, in a polite way, you don't got to be a jerk, but when they're talking, you wait till they're done with their sentence and then be like, hey, I got a question. And I don't think most of the time I wouldn't approach it with you're wrong. It would be, I don't think that's quite right because, and then give a fact and then let them decipher from that fact. So,
and hopefully he's a good teacher. And
raise my hand and be like, I always heard it was this and this and this.
Yeah. I bring it up. So I don't think there's anything wrong with asking them. So,
yeah, there's a way to do it for sure.
I think it's definitely a split opinion. You know,
and Chris Young says it's a professional obligation to correct them and make them feel stupid.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you can't treat the classroom like a Facebook group.
I know, right?
I mean, I do put myself in their situation. I would feel awful if you were up there and people are making you, it would not be good.
So Hausch says the last duct design class he took from a local vendor was a disaster. He basically took over and have not attended much since. Let's be honest here. I mean,
spelled since wrong.
Do you think that there's really any training that's proper at a supply house besides stuff that's put on by, some of the big training companies like, TEC or Energy Conservatory or ACA? Like, I mean, there's not a lot of good information coming from supply house trainings unless it's led by one of those companies,
Yeah,
you're right.
And that's something where the supply houses are messing up too.
Just start coughing really obnoxiously in the middle of class when they say something wrong, but then say what they said wrong as you're coughing.
Fill out the survey afterward, Jason says.
Jason, I had dinner with Jason. Jason is awesome. And I went to his one of his A2L classes. It was an awesome class as well.
Hey,
did you guys see this one?
Did he sign that book too?
Put that.
Yes,
he
did. That one's baller status right there. Steve Rogers stands up in a class and says you're wrong.
Well, I mean,
how can you challenge that when Steve Rogers stands up and is like, yeah, that's not quite right. I mean,
he did it this year? Question mark, Chris?
I don't know.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
I heard he did it in front of everybody at the symposium once.
Did he?
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Supposedly there's a video floating around. Somebody recorded it of him standing up. Nope. That's not right. You're wrong.
Put music behind it and everything.
That's funny.
Excuse me, you are being stupid right now.
I'm working with supposed teaching things. Hold on, let me put this on.
See this guy's name, Bluran, BJ, or was it BJURRAN?
Read it, Bill. Read it. Come on.
Bergeron. I'm working with completely different systems, but if I was teaching things and someone was sure that I was wrong, I would like them to tell me. Don't be it, but tell me.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You don't got to be a dick, but I mean, again, I ask it in forms of questions. Like, I thought it was like this, and then when they say no, and then they give me factual information, okay, and go from there. But to have someone just say no, I'm right, I'm not going to buy that.
I think would be really good at interrupting classroom scenarios and correcting people. I think Clive would be really good at that. He has a way of presenting himself not in a standoffish sort of fashion, but more or less no, I think you're wrong. And then woofles just start flaming up behind him. And it's no, you're
Are you
wrong.
sure? Flames coming out.
And he gets everybody's attention.
That's amazing.
That's funny.
Actually, before we wrap this up, there was a question, and maybe these electronic guys or guys who work more in the industrial, unless you guys know, but what is a safe temperature for electron? I heard a temperature like electronics or cabinets or maybe a chiller room, that's not too hot for the components or for electrical and for cabinets.
A breaker box or a control cabinet?
That's a good control cabinet. I've heard a certain.
What's a good temperature for a breaker box now that I think about it?
Yeah. I thought it was between 120 or around there.
Dude, you should see some of the breaker panels. I have a restaurant that's out in the middle of the desert, and their main breaker panel with all the sub panels is outside of the building. It gets 120 degrees outside of the breaker panel. That's getting hit by the sun. That thing's got to be freaking 160 degrees inside.
They don't have little fans inside of it.
No, they're just the breakers. And the other, this is a really old location. It's totally out of code, but every summer, because they have sandstorms out there, you'll have no power, and all you have to do is go downstairs, take the breaker out, tap it, shake all the sand out of it, snap it back in, turn it on, and it'll work.
Wow.
Like, they actually get full of sand. Like I'll do that, and then I'll tell them to get the electrician out there to replace it. Like
this is so Chris, back on that where Steve Rogers corrected somebody. He said the COP above 1 on electric heat is not possible. Instructor had UL listings with proof. Steve said they must have measured something wrong. I think I know who might have claimed that. I didn't know they were giving a class, but was it an air handler manufacturer? And is their air handler red? Question mark.
It was like,
because I've had this discussion with Ed Janowak as well too.
Okay, they're saying about the same. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because it could. Yeah, okay, 120.
Yeah, and someone said in here they can't understand why my stuff's not in special enclosures. You know, it's because they're just like out of code. The buildings aren't brand new, but even still, they wouldn't require sand rated crap because it's only like a seasonal sand that we get. It's not like we live in the Sahara where everything has to. But I mean, even there, you see the crap they work on. It's not all sand rated. So I don't know. I mean, logic would tell you that these restaurants would be wanting the highest quality stuff, but they don't. They just
because it costs money.
Their mentality is on reaching coolers now. It became a thing. They buy reaching coolers. They're only meant to last 5 years. After 5 years, they're depreciated. They get no more tax write-off. Throw them away, buy a new one. So they're just not spending money to buy new, nice stuff.
Yeah.
It's a race to the bottom, everybody. Pretty much. Well, I think it's time we wrap this up.
Yeah. It's a good show.
Wrap it up, man.
It has been good. We had a lot of good topics tonight.
Did we?
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know if it was any cool 100th episode moments or 200th
I think
episode.
the best part was that guy's farts smell like actual farts.
I'm really bummed out that Minky Mutu didn't send me an email because I really wanted him to come onto the show.
I like talking about.
He was asking. He forgot. He said, "Sucker."
Well, we're all out of steam now.
The data packets spin around in the wire nuts all night.
Oh, Adam,
round,
Bill,
round, baby, round.
You need to make an overtime shirt that says something about data packets getting spun in the wire nuts.
Yeah,
like that needs to be a shirt of some sort.
24 hours. If it's still a good idea tomorrow, remind me. There was like 3 other ideas that we have that I
forgot about them.
Yeah, I got them written down somewhere.
I like the crayons one. Crayons.
Yeah, that's another one we got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Sure. We already got like 30 shirts that don't sell anyway, so it's more to it.
There's a lot of Mississippi's. Y'all be good. Yeah, for sure. Be safe out there, guys.
It's funny. I don't think anybody else has bought a Jim Davis shirt. Oh, well.
Nope. That was a banging shirt.
I just make those shirts because I like them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
Oh, I got hats are coming your way, Bill.
Oh yeah,
they're coming right now.
I was waiting.
Bill is a very top secret beta tester of a new hat.
You got it.
It's going to be revolutionary. It looks so different.
You guys have no idea. As soon as I get it, I'll post it on Facebook.
It literally looks the same.
Start blasting it out to you guys. It looks the same. No. I'm gonna just go ahead right now and say it doesn't look the same. It's a 6-panel hat, guys. All right. I mean, try not to blow that out of your butts. It's a 6-panel hat. It better be 6-panel. If not, it's garbage.
I don't know what it is. I don't know where it is.
If not, it's your own
case. Yeah, it's a 6-panel.
I sent you a picture of it. You said yeah. So
for like the bald guys in the room, like the hat Chris is wearing, it's got a slight form to it, which is okay for me anyway. If you have hair, but like the 6-panel hats, it just conforms to your bald ass head, and it feels so much better. Like this hat that I'm wearing right now,
like a
6-panel hat.
Got it.
Interesting. Yeah, I have no idea what kind of hat it is, bro. So I just know it's that hat. So I sent it to you. And I found some other people to send the other prototype hats to too. Jason Johnson's getting one and Will Speed's getting one. So they're going to tell me how those hats are.
Good. I hope
we'll get some feedback and then we'll maybe order them.
Because I'm legit going to wear it at work because my work hat sucks.
Another thing that I want to address quickly, because I think in a lot of our minds, and I would have had this for most of my career, everybody is addicted to overtime. So if you find yourself in this position where you're already so addicted to overtime that you don't feel like you have any bandwidth, then that's probably one of the first things we got to start to deal with, is really get that down to where it's more reasonable. I mean, it's easier said than done for sure, but it can be done, and it has to be done, frankly, for everybody's health.
Dude, you got to make a short with this.
Yeah,
you totally got to make it short with that audio.
Let's thank Brian Orr for
Everybody's
popping
addicted
in
to
on the
overtime.
phone. Yes. I mean, we didn't ask him to call in. He just called in just now.
Oh.
So